Okay, so let's continue our discussion talking about badass teachers. And I want to know, are you guys still calling for the replacement of Arnie Duncan, and why?
Absolutely. Well,
Yes.
I mean, the man has never taught a day in his life. He likes to brag that his parents were teachers. But he's a corporate shell. I mean, the guy, there's this very interesting collaboration between very rich people and corporations and the government, all the way up to the Secretary of Education and President Obama himself. So take, for instance, the Common Core standards. So I have two problems with the Common Core standards. The skills that Common Core promotes are skills that we're already teaching our children. But the standards themselves are completely devoid of content. So I've even heard in professional development sessions that the Common Core standards can be taught in a curricular vacuum. In other words, it doesn't matter what the nonfiction text that you're reading is. The point is that the kids can read and make these determinations about nonfiction tests in general. Well, that's a problem because there are certain, schools are, they're bastions of democracy. They're the foundation of American democracy, and there are certain things like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the Civil Rights Movement that all kids need to be taught, and they need to be taught fairly. The second problem I have with the Common Core is that what it really is an attempt to take 14,000 disparate school districts that have their own idiosyncrasies in purchasing standards and unite them so that testing companies, companies that produce content materials like Pearson, can have one giant market for, and tech companies that want to pre-program tablet computers with content want to pre-program, or rather, they have one giant market that they can service, and it's much more economically profitable for them to do it that way. So that's a huge issue, and the government is facilitating this, and public education should be run locally and democratically, and instead what we have is a situation where, with Race to the Top and No Child Left Behind, they treat the public education system like a half-starved dog, and then they dangle raw meat in front of its face to make it go this way and that. And so what they're really doing is they're using the public education system to service people that are already very, very wealthy instead of the children that it was designed to serve.
And they take all the creativity out of teaching.
Yeah, narrows the
Fortunately,
curriculum.
at preschool, they haven't gotten to us yet. So I can teach, I know I have to teach a unit on animals. Well, I always choose an area that I'm very familiar with, like the desert, and when my daughter was in Alaska. So I can pull in personal experience and make really creative decisions for my kids. You get up higher and they're reading scripted lessons. I mean, they even have direct instruction science. You read to science. You can't teach science like that.
No. Let me ask you this. So tell me about some of the partnerships that Badass Teachers has in closing out this conversation. I understand there's Badass Parents now.
We have Badass Parents and we have Badass Moms. Badass Moms started here in Chicago. A group of moms who were fighting for public education justice. Most of us were fighting to save our schools. Rosemary Vega, who fought in Occupy Lafayette, which closed, got us all together. I fought and actually we saved, my community saved Marcus Garvey Elementary School from closing.
Now, is that the same Roseanne that was the heckler?
Yes, that's Rosemary Vega. She, we were in the fight together, all different parts of the city. We represent the city of Chicago, from the far south side to Pilsen to up north, Lawndale. We're just all over the city. It's 12 of us. And we started Badass Mom. We hosted our first neighborhood school fair. Chicago Public Schools does not showcase our public schools, but yet they close them. So we said, let's bring in 60 schools, 20 to 40 organizations, 500 plus people, and we had our first successful neighborhood school fair. So now we've opened up Badass Moms Association online. We came into contact with BATS, that's where we got the name from, and now we have over 800 members all over the country, mothers who are also educators, or just parents who fight for education.
All right, outstanding. Well, thank you once again. If you're looking for information, you can always find it online. You guys are on Facebook as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Outstanding.